Welcome back to Living in Hobe Sound. If you're new here, my name is Jamie Schwartz. I'm a Hobe Sound resident and realtor with Waterfront Properties and Club Communities.
And I'm Jody Dupuis. I'm also a Hobe Sound resident, and I am your local licensed residential mortgage consultant here, Mortgage Resources of South Florida.
And on this channel, what we discuss is what it's like living, working, and having fun here in Hobe Sound and the surrounding areas. We normally try to show all there is to do here in the area, but today we were talking about loans and buying and the process, and we thought, you know what, you might not have all of this information, and this is valuable information, so why not tape it so we can share it with you?
Yeah.
Hopefully you like it. If you don't, that's fine too. You can go check out the videos of us shopping or eating ice cream. And one of the reasons why we started to do this channel was being like, we're getting questions over and over. If we can help other people understand what is here and be their first friend here, then we're doing a good job. Like, that's our goal, is to give value to people to know what it's like to be here or in the surrounding areas. It's not really a business venture. It's more of we just like meeting people, and we like helping people, and we like connecting people. So we do this.
This is it. This is what we do. We love it. And I really wouldn't have it any of us. Oh my gosh. So anyway, don't forget to stick around for the bloopers.
Oh, I'm sure there's lots of those.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of those.
Any differences between a conventional loan and an FHA loan right now that's changed in the last couple months? And what are the differences between those two loans?
Well, there's big differences between FHA and conventional, but what really matters is, you know, what's right for the client. So when someone comes to me and they're like, I'm a first-time home buyer, I need an FHA loan. So, okay, great. Let's talk about things. They may or may not need an FHA loan. I'm not going to correct them on that, but we're going to go through the process and see what makes sense most for them. So we do the pre-approval, right? So you got to get pre-approved before you start looking at houses. Yeah. So the fun part is looking at houses, right? And maybe you have fun, you know, getting pre-qualified. Maybe you like this kind of stuff and you're crazy like I am. But most people, the fun part is looking for houses. But what Jamie and I don't want you guys to do is to fall in love with something that you can't have. Because if you're not pre-qualified, especially in this market, in most markets, but especially in this market, things are going so fast. And if you're not pre-qualified and you fall in love with a house, it's gone before you can get it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't take forever to get pre-qualified.
I'm going to ask you, it really, I think a lot of people think that it's like weeks and weeks and all this paperwork, and it's really not that tedious.
It's possible that they've worked with a bank. And I have had people that come to me and say, I've been trying to get this refi done for 4 months. And why is it taking so long? I don't know why it's taking so long. I'll get you done in 30 days.
Yeah.
So for a refi, you know, typically you can call me, right? So we can have a conversation for maybe half an hour and get a really good feel to see if you're ready or not, because you may or may not be ready, or I may not be the one to help you. There may be, you know, like you said, a new construction type of thing, or maybe they want to buy a lot. There's different types of loans. If I'm not the right person, I'm going to make sure. And in that first 30 minutes, I'm able to figure it out. Am I going to be able to help them, or do I need to send them somewhere else to one of my other trusted partners? So in that time, I'm going to learn a little bit about you and what you do, what your intentions are. Maybe you think you want a $300,000 house, but really what's most important is how much do you want your mortgage payment to be? So we'll back into it. Say, okay, well, here's what I'm paying in rent. I think I could pay, you know, $2,800 tops. Okay, well, let me tell you how much home you really can afford. And we're going to look at taxes and insurance and all that stuff. But in about 30 minutes or so, I can figure out what the client is looking at. Basically, we'll talk about credit score. We'll talk about their income, whether they're retired and getting Social Security or pensions or annuities. Or maybe we need to set up a systematic monthly withdrawal if, you know, from your investments. There's different things you can do, but I need to find out, are you retired and working on, you know, fixed income? Are you employed by an employer as a W-2 employee, or are you self-employed?
Question, like, are you
yeah, I'm definitely going to discover whether or not they've served in the armed forces, or their spouse, or if they're a surviving spouse of someone who has served, because a VA program is going to be a little bit different than FHA or conventional. So what my main bread and butter is, I like to do conventional loans that are backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, VA loans, FHA loans, and there's a little bit of USDA action where we're at here too.
Right.
That's mainly what we can do. Now, if you don't fit into any of those categories, like I said, I'm going to help direct you to someone who can help you. Or I do have a few like bank statement programs and things like that as well. So those are other options. Yes, jumbo loans are back. There was a little pushback during COVID for most of the lenders. I deal with wholesale lending, so I have a lot of lenders across the country, but for the most part, they're open to jumbo. First homes, second homes, investment homes, those are other questions we have to discover. But again, about 30 minutes, we can have that discovery, see if they're ready to go, or if they need to do a little work. Maybe they need to file their taxes one more year if they're self-employed, different things like that. And then if they want, they could also go, I have an application online. So in the middle of the night, they want to click online and do it themselves, or if they're on the other side of the world working, or whatever. People have different schedules. It's another thing I wanted to say with flexibility. So then we can schedule a time that'll work for them after they do the online application, which also takes about 30 minutes.
Where do they find the online application?
Well, I have it in my email signature and also on my Facebook webpage. So they can click on there and just fill it out. It's pretty simple.
We should put it in our video descriptions.
I can put it in our description of the video. Absolutely. Why didn't I think of that?
That's what
whatever's easier. I say whatever's easiest for the client. I think most people, it's easy to just do it over the phone and I'll just walk them through it. But it really just depends on your personality type and your availability. So
right. In the current market, what does a credit score have to be to get a loan?
Another really great question, Jamie. So the lenders have softened up a little bit on that. They were a lot more strict during COVID. We're still going through COVID, but they have released some of their restrictions and that kind of thing. So 580 would be a minimum credit score for a couple of lenders I have. Are you going to get the most options available or the best pricing if you have a 580 FICO score? No, but it doesn't mean that we can't work with it. So that would be a FHA loan if you're going down to 580. Once you get into the mid sixes and high sixes into 7, then we're looking more conventional, possibly. You could still be in an FHA loan even with a 750 score, because FHA is going to give you a little bit more flexibility with your debt to income ratio, as well as the credit score. So there's a couple different reasons why someone might want to go that way, or maybe they've had a short sale or foreclosure or a bankruptcy. FHA is more forgiving to allow you to get into a loan sooner after a shorter waiting period than a conventional loan. Not to get too technical. I don't want to bore you guys to death, but give me a call if you want to talk about that.
Yeah. So let's say you're starting to do that and you see a price like in Piper's in Palm City. Let's say you see a house there for 150,000 and it's beautiful. And all of a sudden you're like, I can get this great house. What you're not realizing or taking into consideration is the HOA fees and then taxes. If you cross like the county line and you go over to Palm Beach County or on Jupiter Island where there's a town, all of a sudden you've got even more taxes. So I think it's very important to, it's fun to shop, but if you're seriously starting to consider buying, calling and finding out, all right, this is my price without a homeowners association, but I really want a homeowners association. So how much can I spend a month on my association and what type of house can I get with that considered in?
For sure. No, that's a huge thing. And that's why it's important to work with a professional or a pair of professionals that can dig in a little bit deeper. Hey, we've got that video with the cost of living. You guys can check that out too. It has a little bit more information on that. It should still be pretty relevant.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of things to consider. Again, if you may not need a mortgage, but if you do need a mortgage, you really want to consider how much is going to work for you. And part of that is often taxes and insurance, not just the principal and interest. So if you can waive escrows in certain situations where you don't have your taxes and insurance taken out, but it's still a cost for you. And those things are going to go on, especially the taxes, they're going to go on long after you pay off your mortgage. So you want to make sure that you're prepared for that. And Jamie and I will help you guys.
They say the two things certain in life is death and taxes.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And I'm seeing a lot of our cash buyers, because I think they'll do a 45-day closing just to attempt to get a loan, but not have the purchase be contingent on that loan. So they're trying to take advantage of the low interest rates, but they want the advantage of being a cash buyer. And sometimes they can get it. A lot of times they can get it done. Sometimes they can't for whatever reason, but at least they try to get it done. And because they're looking at, where their money is making them the most money might be somewhere else and saving on that percentage with the house. But what makes you so different to other places that a buyer could get a loan from?
Well, what sets me apart from other lenders is the fact that I am local, just like you said, and I do work with people throughout the state, but I've got a special place in my heart for the people of the Treasure Coast, the people that we live with and work with and see at the grocery store and the gas station and the beach. And I love helping people, but particularly people in my hometown community.
Yeah.
So, I want to treat people the way that I want to be treated, right? That's like the golden rule. And so I've always gone by that naturally. And, if someone needs something and it's after hours, they need to make an appointment after work or on the weekend, I'm here for them. Now, if they're going to call a big box bank and they have that same request, they're gone at 5:00 and they'll back at 9 on Monday, and they might call you back. And they might call you back in a couple days, so the availability that I have for my clients, because the flexibility, I want to be there for them and help them every step of the way and communicate with them. They can call me on the phone, they can text me, they can email me. I'm always available. And same thing with my realtor partners as well. I want to be available when you guys need me. And it's a little bit more difficult to work with a big bank, as maybe they pull through in the end, but if I can eliminate some of those stresses from the equation to make the process go smoother and have the borrower just feel less anxiety, because let's face it, buying a home is a really big deal, and there is a fair amount of anxiety that comes along with it. And I want to help mitigate that anxiety and just make it as easy as possible. All the while just following the regulations and the things that we have to, and keeping up to date on everything to make sure that everything goes smoothly, not only for the customer, but also for the lender.
So tell me about, so you won that competition, like best.
I'm in the top 3 finalists.
That's amazing.
So they're going to give away the award.
So
it should be fun.
You're one of the top 3. You don't know if you're 1 or 3? You're 1. You're number 1 in my book.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I appreciate that. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you have a speech? Do you give a speech if you win?
I guess I should have something prepared.
Yeah, just in case. I mean,
my husband's laughing.
And this is like covering the whole, Treasure Coast or?
Yes, it's TC Palm area. So Martin, St. Lucie, Indian River, Okeechobee.
It's a big area.
I don't know if Okeechobee's covered, but I'm sure, it is a big area. Yeah. So top 3, baby. Ray's like, are you inviting Jamie? I'm like, yes.
I like Ray.
He's
got a good support system over there.
Yes. When I do good loans, we're writing good loans on good paper these days. And, that's important to me too.
I agree with all of what you said. I would say another thing that I appreciate about you in particular, because all of those things you just said, I have said, Jody will do this and that. But the one thing that always sticks out to me with you is, if for some reason the buyer goes a route that you can't help, like maybe they buy a home in a community where the builder has their own lender and you can't help them, you are always, whatever it takes to get the buyer what they need, even if you don't benefit from it. It's like, you're fine. I understand. I'm here to help you if you need help still. and it's not about you, it's about them and their experience. And I feel like you can tell the difference when you're doing it versus other lenders that I've worked with, is you're really doing it for them. And I feel like other people in this industry, they're doing it for themselves to make that dollar. And I think that's really what stands out the most for me when I work with you versus other people.
Thank you for saying that.
I mean it.
That's really kind. It is how I operate. You know, it is all about the customer. And, you know, I want to make sure that they have a good experience, and I want to get them to the end. I don't want to give up whatever, you know, issues that we may encounter along the way. You know, we're going to work through those things together and, you know, get to the finish line.
Yeah.
You know, as a whole, and hopefully with not as much stress. So yeah, I think that another thing that, what was I going to say?
I was going to say, and I think that's probably why you're in the top 3 on the Treasure Coast, even up there, like you're literally going against the entire company, and then you, and you're good. And us agents love you because of what you do and how you do it. It's not just what you're doing, it's how you're doing it. It's good.
Thank you. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. So glad that you guys came to the channel and checked out our new video. We appreciate it. If you want to subscribe to our channel, we're happy. Just hit the bell. And what else do we want to say? Oh, call us, text us. We just want to make it as easy as possible if you have any questions. But feel free to leave a comment and let us know if there's something that you'd like to know about the area. We're going to kind of branch out a little bit. I maybe check out a little bit of the surrounding area and show you some other little treasures of South Florida.
Yes, exactly.
For another employer, you're self-employed. Huh?
Did you say nudies?
Did I say nudies? I don't think so.
Annuity,
Jamie.
I'm sorry. I was like, what? Jody?
What? Why are you pointing to the ceiling?
Because you're up on my screen. You're
on your Brady Bunch screen. Am I on top of you? Because you're next to me on mine.
I'm surprised my dog's not running in yet. Oh, he's barking.
She wishes she was at the beach with me.
I do.
Hope you enjoyed the show today.
Yeah, me too. 1, 3, 2.
I already did it.
Oh, right.
And I appreciate that you have a high standard there. When it comes to that, you set the bar
super high, very high. In fact, everyone's like, lower it. I'm like, no, just raise yours.
I like that. I like that. Just raise yours.
Just raise yours.
That's really artificial blue light for you, Jamie.
I appreciate the measures you go to for us.
Love you guys. Call us if you need anything. Bye.